Alright guys, welcome back to VALORANT News. Rostermania chaos continues last night with major confirmations coming through. 100 Thieves confirmed their team and exactly what's happened behind the scenes to make the Sentinels team and the 100 Thieves team change as they had this off-season. But also, Cloud9 revealed their roster as well. Is it going to be better than what they've put together for the last couple of seasons? With lots of drama in that organisation, as we full well know, over the last 24 months or so. Very much enjoy your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I'd greatly appreciate it. We'll get into Liv as well in a second because there are some rumours, not even maybe rumours at this point, as to what their roster is going to be looking like. By the way, T1 confirmed their first member. That's going to be Sylvan. I think there were some rumours about this for some time. The other ones, though, are the bigger rumours, right? The likes of Buzz, among others, that may or may not be joining T1 as it stands. So, yeah, we know they're going to go full Korean. They've started out that process, of course. They've released a Sire player, but also they've released Rossi as well, and we'll get into Rossi in a second. NRG, by the way, officially released Crashies. It's interesting that I guess this wasn't the case until now. We knew that he was going to be gone. Of course, I'm guessing maybe Crashies and Victor are looking to be a team or two somewhere else. We're not really sure where that would be, if anywhere, right now. Of course, EG is still open as an option, maybe, but it's something at least to think about. Victor says that he could have done some trials, but he injured his wrist and therefore he couldn't, so that's a bit of a tricky one. And whether Victor and Crashies do stay together or go somewhere else, that is a big question. But let's talk about this Sen roster and also what it means for Leviathan. We'll get into that in just a second here. But speaking of Sen, they were getting some scrims underway. Bang, Gen.G, Zelsys, Zekken and Narrate. That is your team of 5. Coach Kaplan. Pretty sure they extended Kaplan's contract as well for another couple of years. So, you know, they're relying on this team to continue delivering the championship success they had last season in Madrid. And Narrate is already fully on board with the Zelsys thing, because you know that Zelsys was going by Sen bundle for some time to sell it, but of course that's now gone. So yes, Narrate says no bundle, and Zelsys is like, wow, he's gonna fit right into this organization. So yeah, they're getting underway soon. Pretty funny this picture, by the way, because I think Zelsys couldn't make the photo shoot because he was unwell or something. So then he got the picture of Gen.G, Narrate, Zekken and Bang, and then kind of Zelsys looks like he's passed away in the background, but unfortunately he hasn't. And no, that's what Sentinels say. He will be dead if he misses photo day ever again. But look, Narrate and Bang, they've been signed. Their contracts apparently expire at the end of 2026. So it's a 2-year deal. It's a little bit unclear exactly what the deals look like in VALORANT because the contract database just gives you an end date. If they have a 1+1, as in if they're signed to 1 year, with then the option for the team to extend them for another year, is that, you know, a 2026 deal? Is that a 2025 deal? It probably is considered at that point to be a 2-year deal that they can cut short if they want. I'm not exactly sure how the database considers it, but maybe it's just a straight up 2-year deal because Zekken, Gen.G and Zelsys, they signed last year and now they are signed until 2025. So, you know, they've got a couple of years, well, 1 more year, but you know what I mean? They had a 2-year deal as well. The other big deal though on Sentinels is Curry officially gone from the VALORANT contract database. So he's been removed from Sentinels. Now, does that mean they're going to add him back as a sub? Possibly. I mean, he was always a sub. But I do wonder what the plan is here, because I mentioned this a while ago when they had Redux coming in for the, like the Ludwig Tarek tournament, whatever it was, right? Like when they played that and Curry was on the roster, but Redux was there as well, and Redux is going to turn 18 in a few months. I was wondering where Curry fits into the plans. Like, is he going to be any part any longer of the Sentinels roster? The other thing to note is TenZ has retired, and the same story with Sassy, but is it possible that especially TenZ, because he still lives there basically, could stay as the substitute for the team? It's kind of like, well, we're not ever really sure, but in the Call of Duty world, when Scump retired, he was still technically like the team's substitute for a while. They never needed him. But it could be the case with TenZ, where like, yes, he's gone, but, and I guess he's also been removed from the database, but it's maybe possible that TenZ, they could put him back in as the sub for the team. Like, what would you guys do if you were forming that new Sentinels roster? TenZ is obviously retired and doesn't want to play and commit anymore, but if they needed an emergency sub, is TenZ the guy to keep on the bench for now, and then maybe in April or whatever it is when Redux is 18, then sign him as your bench player? That's an option. That's probably what I would think of doing. But intrigued to your thoughts, because Curry removed here means that surely they're going to need someone else as a substitute for the new season. Who they declare that to be is a bit of a question mark. Speaking of Sen though, they played a scrim. Bang, Gen.G, Zelsys, Kaplan, Narrate, Zekken. We see all the guys 14-8 against Leviathan with Com T1 with Tex, but also notably with Demon 1. So he's still technically NRG Demon 1, but this has been basically confirmed now that he is still either trialing or probably at this point just locked in. I mean, let's be honest, right? If Demon 1 is practicing with Lev still weeks after he was rumoured to be trialing with the roster, it's pretty probable that they've decided, yeah, we're going to keep him around. That is going to form our roster for next season. The big debate is, though, with Lev, are they going to have enough money to pull this off? Because they've got to pay a buyout from NRG, and they've no longer got Aspas, we believe, but they only will have the money to buy Demon 1 or to actually sustain this possibly if they sell Aspas and get a buyout for him, which they probably will, but Bleed Esports were ready to pay it and they got kicked out of the league. So someone else is going to need to pay that Aspas buyout probably if Lev want to, well, ensure that what they're trying to do right now with the players they're signing is actually financially feasible. But let's talk about 100T. They confirmed their roster for the new season, and it was going to be the same roster as last season, until Sentinels came along and stole Bang away. So Asano is still here, EU, Cryo, Boostio, and now Xander as the new member of the organisation and of the roster for next season. So, yeah, we've known this now for some time. Xander was initially linked to Sentinels. The rumour is he trialled with Sen, but Sen also wanted to look at Bang on the controller role. They looked at him as well. They trialled him. They thought Bang did a better job, fit their team better, whatever. They went with him. They've got some money to pay for a buyout, I guess, from 100T or whatever. And now Xander is the man coming in from M80 to get the job done, completely unrestricted, so it's probably going to work out quite well financially, I guess, for 100 Thieves, if this rumour is to be believed. And as Xander says, time to raise some trophies. This is the mentality we needed at Bang, as Bang did a tweet that basically said time to work when he joined Sentinels, and Aston was like, what do you mean? You're meant to be working when you were on our team. What do you guys think about this, right? Because on paper, I don't think this team is any better, but I think it might work out quite well for both parties, because often a team, if it hasn't quite had the success they wanted, and sure, they did well last year, they, won their in-region championship in the Americas, but when it came to getting the results they needed internationally, of course, it just didn't happen. But when it came to getting the results internationally, it just didn't happen. So, and often with those teams, it makes sense maybe to keep it together, keep on growing, learning and improving as a roster. But often you need some sort of switch up. And even if like Xander is, I don't think Xander's better than Bang. I think they can, on their respective teams also, both of them do a great job. And Bang has also, or Xander, sorry, has also been a conversation point with 100 Thieves for years. But I do think that making some sort of change might actually be beneficial just for that fresh team environment. And, well, Asana basically said they weren't going to make a move until Sentinels came in and stole Bang away, basically. And even, Jakob Toft Anderson here over at 100T does say they talked about working with Xander years ago, wanting to pair him with Cryo with our roster at the time, but it wasn't meant to be then. We eventually got Cryo the year after, and now it's with Xander. So, yeah, interesting that they were never planning to make a move, but actually in hindsight, they're now thinking, well, you know what? We wanted to form a team with Cryo and Xander years ago, and there were rumors, like I'm talking, 2+ years ago, with Xander was linked to this organization, right? So it makes sense, and now he is officially going to be there. All of those guys, by the way, sign until 2026, so relatively long-term deals, but not as long as the Cloud9 team that we're going to talk about right about now. So yesterday, we know that all the Cloud9 boys, by the way, they're out in Korea right now for a boot camp they're doing out there, which is pretty exciting, not going to lie. Just to get some good practice in the Pacific region going into the new year with their brand new roster, and we see them confirm the new players yesterday. So we've known for some time what's going to happen, because Rossi was going to stay. Oxy was, we believe, explored as an option to go to G2. They went for Jorgamo instead. So Oxy stays here, with Rossi coming along, with Moose here as well. Zeppa stays, and then Vic is coming in as well of the MXS team. So this is a very interesting team. I don't know if I love it precisely, but look, Cloud9 are doing Cloud9 things. It's controversial in the sense of, is it, does it bring enough firepower to the table compared to the other teams in the region, right? Like, we're seeing what these other teams are doing, what Sentinels are putting together, what 100 Thieves have done, etc., etc. Is this team going to have enough? I like keeping Oxy around. I think I like the Vic pickup. That's kind of exciting. Moose, I think, is pretty good as well. Zeppa is controversial just because, obviously he's one of those players been around for some time. Sometimes he's great, sometimes he's not so good. I think my feeling is that Rossi is here probably going to be the in-game leader, and I don't know if that's going to get get the best out of Rossi, because I do think he's a player with a high ceiling, but maybe not as the IGL so much. There was an argument of whether you bring Mitch in. I mean, I thought Mitch could have done a solid job as the in-game leader, maybe. There were other options, but this is what they've gone for. I don't know, again, if this will be the team that closes out the season for them, right? I think Mitch, maybe VALORANT, I don't know, bring it back again. Seems unlikely, but that anyway is their team. So we'll see how they get on, whether it works out for them. Rossi has been added, by the way, with a 2027 contract. So that's a mega deal. I mean, they are seriously locking this guy down. A 3-year deal for Rossi on the roster. I mean, he better work out well, right? And that this Cloud9 team better be good. Same story for Vic, a 2027 deal. Like, pretty wild, no? That these guys, not, I would say, unproven, but certainly on this level, like, there's no guarantee that this team works or does well, really, compared to the others in the Americas. And to lock down Rossi and Vic for 3-year deals, it's also got to make the other guys somewhat nervous that, well, if the team doesn't work out, those guys aren't going anywhere, so it's going to be some sort of other change that potentially could come through. But very much interested in your thoughts, as ever, on all of this stuff in the comment section below. Just a bit of talk here on Ye, where he might go, because still the only team that he's been really linked to remains Evil Geniuses. There are rumours that he was doing a trial for those guys a while ago, and to be fair to EG, Ye is now a UFA, unrestricted free agent, because Bleed Esports are officially out of here. So very much interested in your thoughts, as ever, in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.